Meridian star.
Hello, in this video we will be going over the Future POS back office component. Please refer to our video titled Fine Dining/Full Demo to see the front end of the software. You'll be able to sign into the back office from your terminal or back office computer using your chosen ID and password. Once we're in the back office, we have multiple sections we can go into. I will go over them now, but please give us a call if you have more questions. The number is 855-853-6485. The first of these sections is favorites. Here we have our most commonly used maintenances, reports, and so on. We can put anything that we want to get to quickly here. And we can show you how to customize this so that you'll have quick access to whatever you need to use the most in the back office. Next we have the dashboard section. Here we can see some charts and graphs of our day-to-day sales and also our top and bottom selling items. The dashboards are customizable, so we have some control of what we can see in this section of the back office as well. Next we have maintenances and reports. These are the main sections of the back office where most of the action will take place. I'll get right back to these in just a moment. We have interfaces. Here we can integrate with third-party softwares. We can integrate with payroll companies. We can integrate with QuickBooks. We also have settings where we can change the configuration of our software. This is on the more technical side of things. But if you do have any questions about any of this, feel free to ask. And over here next to the sign-off button, we have support where you can actually look up any of these things that I'm going to go over. And it'll explain to you step by step how all these things work. But remember that with Meridian Star, you can always call us and we'll explain any of these things to you as well. Now let's go back into the maintenance section where you can actually control your day-to-day setup for your POS. This includes employees, making your menu, changing your prices, and some other features that I'm going to go into. Of course, you do have button where you can actually change all of the buttons on your system and you can completely control the look of any of the buttons on your POS screen. Besides that, we have item maintenance where we can actually pull up our items and make new items. Here we can control how it prints in the kitchen, how it prints on the receipt, what department it gets categorized into for your sales reports, and also where you see this grid of pricing. This is where we can actually control not just scheduled pricing where, for example, with happy hour, you can have items that change pricing based on the time. But we can also have multiple levels of pricing. So if you have VIP members or certain events, things like that, you can actually have complete control of the pricing for a single item based on the different variables. And of course here we have a way to control what printers it will go to in the kitchen, so we can have as many printers as necessary. And we can also control the discounts, what discounts is an item eligible for. Besides that, we'll see here the ingredients options where we can actually control what ingredients go into an item. We can have recipes built into the system, so if you have an item that has certain ingredients, when you sell that item, it will deduct those ingredients from your inventory. Moving on to the maintenances here, we also have the option to come in here and add our employees to the system, as well as make changes to our existing employees. Here in the employee maintenance, we'll have all of our employees listed. We can pull any one of them up and make changes as necessary to their contact information and their permission levels, which we'll explain during training how you can control which buttons and which functions of the system each employee can actually use. The employee can have a swipe card assigned to them so that they can sign in, clock in and out and so forth with their swipe card. They can also have a fingerprint registered into the system if you would like to use the fingerprint reader option with our system. And in here you can also actually program their hourly pay rate so that based on the hours that they work in the system, you'll be able to get a full payroll report. Besides that, you can also have contact information here for employees and for managers. This will allow two things. First of all, you'll be able to send alerts to managers and to yourself so that you can get alerted if somebody does avoid or whatever action you want to be alerted on. And also for your employees, if you have all your servers or all your staff filled out with their contact information, you can actually send a mass text or you can send an email to select employees. I'm going to move on into reports now, but if you do have any questions about the maintenances section, please do give us a call. Here we have the report section, and the report section, you'll notice, is actually split into 5 different sections: audit, customer, employee, inventory, and sales. The sales category, of course, features all of our sales reports, but not just our daily sales, but we can also see here our labor versus sales, where it'll compare the sales versus our labor costs, or a movement report where we can see the movement of different items, so we can see which items are our top sellers and which ones are our bottom sellers. Again, give us a call and we'll be happy to show you any specific report that you want to see. I'm just going to, for the purposes of time, show you a couple of them. We do have here an item costing report. So if we look at the item costing report, which some people call this kind of report a product mix, so it's basically going to show you in a given time frame, which you can specify whatever time frame you'd like. It's going to show you which items were sold and how many were sold of each item, and also how much each one costs versus how much you sold it for. And it'll give you a percentage cost margin, and it'll also give you a percentage of your sales that is constituted by that item. So for example, right now I can see that the Budweiser bottle constitutes 35.71% of my beer sales, but it constitutes 4.43% of my total overall sales for the time frame that I selected. Next, we'll look at our sales by range report. This is the most commonly used report in the back office because it's the sales totals report that's going to break down all your sales for a given time frame. So you can specify here a given date or a whole week or a month or whatever time frame you want to look at. You'll be able to see your sales totals. I'm going to show you this report, but I also want you to take note that this report, as well as any other report here in the back office, we can set it up so that it will be automatically emailed to you every day or every week, or whenever you want. You can actually have it automatically sent out to you without you even having to log into the system to run that report. Like I mentioned earlier, we do have full inventory features on here, so we can actually have recipes and ingredients, and we can attach these ingredients to the items and get reports, of all of our stock, and have reorder reports and all of that. In the employee category, we'll be able to have our payroll reports, where we'll be able to see, not only how many hours people worked, but also we will be able to see how much they're supposed to get paid, how much they did in tips. We can see their beverage ratios, so we can see if any employees aren't selling beverages. Then we have customer. The system will actually track your customers that you assign to your invoices. You'll see a little bit of that in the front end demo. But basically, with that customer database that you're going to build up, you're going to be able to not only do loyalty programs and keep track of your customers, but you'll also be able to just pull up a list of your customers and see, balances and other information for the customers that you have in your database. Last of all, I just want to talk about the audit reports, which I like to call the accountability reports, because these are the reports that are going to help you hold your employees accountable, because these actually keep track of everything that your employees will do in the system. So for example, if I look at the activity report, I can actually specify an employee that I want to see activity for. In this case, for this example, I'm just going to select all employees, and then I can specify an activity that I want to see. So if I want to see, when they canceled a sale or when they did a void, I can select those activities. In this example, I'm going to select all activities, and I'm just going to leave the date to today's date and run the report. Now, when I see this report, it's actually going to break down for the selected employees that had activity what buttons they press in the given time frame. So every single button that they press, it will tell me what they did here, and it will tell me at what time, and if there was any supervisor clearance needed for it. It'll tell me the number of the supervisor that actually approved the activity. So if there had been any voids or canceled sales and so on, it would actually show it to you in this activity report. And you can run this at any time, and you can see exactly what's going on and who's doing what on your system. Besides that, of course, we do have reports for you to look at all the paid outs, the voids, the discounts, the coupons that have been run in a certain time, and you can see totals and specifically who did these discounts and coupons and so on, and you can actually keep track of all of that. I'm going to show you this report called Electronic Journal, which will allow you to look up all the invoices or checks that you did in a certain amount of time or in a specified time frame. And you can see here, these are all the sales that I did for these days. And if I want to know more about one of these sales,